Hello, welcome back to the Getting Together podcast. We are so excited to have you here. And last week marked our 10th episode. Yay! So this is number 11. This is awesome.
10 episodes.
We're crushing it. We are really crushing it.
40 viewers.
Hey, no, we're up somewhere. Like 42.
All right, I saw on YouTube.
All
there
right.
you go.
She's been checking us out.
That's good.
I
That is
bet.
important.
Good. And after today,
wow, sky's the limit.
You know what I'm saying?
Sky is the limit.
do they hear little mama?
That's right. Nice. So thank you so much for joining us. We love just discussing Prescott and different reasons that people come to Prescott, why they've arranged their lives around living here. And so today we are really excited to have our guest with us. And this is...
I am Dayana Moca.
Dayana Moca. Thank you so much for joining us today and getting together with us at the porch. Here on Montezuma Street. This is a local coffee shop. They do a great job, not only with coffee, but their whole thing is about community and conversation and coffee. And so this is one of the things that we love to do. You're more than welcome. We film at 10 o'clock on Mondays.
Come on down.
Please come on down. Join us
Jeremy
here at the
will buy
porch.
you coffee.
I would love to buy you coffee with your money. With your money.
You could have a porch swing. Diana and I are doing the porch swing this morning, right? It's good.
Wow, it is.
It's my favorite.
It is perfect. It's like perfect coffee in a cup.
Yes.
The perfect, not too
It feels
sweet.
like fall.
It
Doesn't
really
it?
It
does.
smells like fall.
Yes, it does.
I feel like
Very
it's all
nice.
seasonal almost.
It
like
could
it
be.
like goes with anything. It's like
awesome.
seriously the perfect coffee.
It's like Jeremy's shirt. Goes with anything.
Oh yes.
Oh, yeah.
Anything. You can put this pattern
Bathroom
just
wallpaper,
about, exactly.
bedroom wallpaper.
A throw rug.
Yes.
You just don't know. That's
Sorry.
perfect.
Marissa, you did a good job, honey. His
Yes.
wife got him that. Doesn't she know him well? Yes. And you love her because you're wearing it.
Yeah,
That's so
absolutely.
sweet.
I'll throw it on.
It's
Yeah.
actually really trendy, I feel.
Is it? Well, you would know because you are the clothing line lady. We're going to get into that.
Okay. All right.
Seriously, she is taking names and kicking booty.
Okay. Well, there we go. Well, let's dive in then. So, Diana, first of all, like, what brought you to the Prescott area? How long have you lived here?
So officially, we've lived here a little over a year.
Okay.
Officially.
Yes.
But we've been back and forth for a few years
Okay. Back and forth from?
from California.
Okay. Whereabouts?
Oh, sorry.
No, you should say it. You're amongst friends.
Yes, you are.
So in Southern California.
Southern California.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Loved it.
central.
Yep. I grew up in Visalia.
Long
so
Beach.
Central,
Yeah. So
where
we
were
were
you?
neighbors. So I was in the Riverside County area.
Yeah.
but- Okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Right next to San Diego type of
Excellent.
location.
So, what kind of
Yeah,
drew
nice
you
part.
out to Prescott?
So my father-in-law always dreamed of having something here.
Okay.
And all his friends had property here. And so he approached my husband, who back then we were dating. Hey, I want to look at some properties up there. And Valentino and I are super spontaneous. 23 countries later, we're like, okay.
I know.
Wow.
Hey, wait. 23 countries.
We're
In
talking-
how? Yeah, I mean, you packed it in.
Yeah, in a year and a half.
Yes. Is that crazy?
Now, are we trying to live in these countries, or are we just visiting, or is it just
Visiting.
like a
Weekend
like a
trips.
whirlwind?
They were like,
Yeah.
before we have
Wow.
kids. Before we have
20
kids, we got to see them.
23
Yes,
countries.
23 countries.
23.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
So
I know.
I'm just putting perspective how adventurous we are. We're just
Yes.
Very-
random.
let's do
very
it.
random. Let's do it. So we literally in one day were like, okay, let's go see Prescott. Let's see what the rave is, about. And 5 years ago, it wasn't really that big of a hype
Until,
for Prescott. Until Raylene came in town, and then and so so we come out, check out the first property, and Valentino, my husband, is just absolutely falls in love. He's like, this is
Nice.
it. We're gonna
Wow.
put in an offer. Granted, we really lowballed them, which is a real estate term.
Yes.
We lowballed
Also a
them.
real estate agent.
Oh,
So-
awesome. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So we lowballed them, and they accepted our offer, and it was perfect. Like, it was meant to be seamless escrow.
Wow.
The property did need so much work, so it's a compound with 11 buildings.
Isn't that cool?
So
Wow.
it was.
I know.
It was about to go down. Like, it was in almost like ready to be demolished state.
That makes me sad.
But we flip houses for a living. That's
Okay.
our main bread and butter.
Okay.
And so we're like, we can take on the project. And my husband sees light in anything. So he's like, I could absolutely restore this. So it's taken us 4 years and we're finally almost there, like done restoring it.
And you call it?
We call it the Moca Ranch.
Yeah.
The Moca Ranch.
Moca Ranch.
Okay. So now this is like a destination property where people would come and hang out and do things on this property. So
so
with all those outbuildings, what are they for? What's your main kind of thing there?
So basically, it's like a boutique hotel, you can call it. You know, kind of like a ranch resort.
I've seen the photos.
So there's a gym. So the men always, like on Airbnb, they're like, oh, I see the gym. Is it open? And so we absolutely have it open for anyone that stays with us.
Okay.
And
can I just stop you there, though?
Yes.
Okay, what?
Do you go on vacation to work out in the gym?
It's important.
To people like that look like you.
No.
This is why
I don't.
I've
never used any of the equipment.
Nice.
It's
important to some people.
I have my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law. They're like, if they are going to a hotel, does it have a gym? It's their thing. They
One of their
want
first questions.
Yes,
They
and
have to
to
have
me,
that.
I'm like, does it have free breakfast?
Yes, I know that's very important.
Does it have waffles?
Yeah, waffles.
So good for you. You got a gym. Here we
Do you
go.
have waffles?
I just had to interject that.
We have a movie theater, so that's probably where
cool.
we'd
I
be
didn't know
hanging out.
that. See, I
We
didn't know
do.
that.
So we have a movie theater with literally theater seating.
Okay.
And I mean, it's open for like, you can have speakers there. You know, it has a whole sound equipment.
Could I rent that for like a birthday party?
Yes. I mean, as long as you're okay with the seating and everything.
And you pay. As long as you pay, Ray. That's part of it. Yes.
I'll give you a discount. But yeah, so we have a movie theater, we have a pool.
Okay.
We have a bar and grill. A Christian bar and grill.
A Christian
Cheers
We call
bar
it
and grill.
Christian bar and grill.
Cheers
Literally,
to that.
it is called Christian bar and grill.
Oh my
so-
gosh,
Okay.
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. People get a kick out of it. But it has a pool table, hockey, I mean, an industrial kitchen.
Wow.
It has, yes. It is, yeah.
We're gonna have to come out and visit.
And where are you located?
We are in Prescott Valley.
Prescott
Yeah.
Valley.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Where?
That's
Like
fun.
out Coyote Springs
Coyote
area?
Springs.
Okay.
Yes.
See, that's one of my favorite spots.
Really? And why
It
is
really
that,
is.
Ray?
We have like mutual friends of a friend of a friend that invited us out to their property in Coyote Springs, and it's so close. Like I can get to Walmart with like 7 minutes, but it feels. I mean, there's like cattle grids, so I mean, there's just roaming,
Right.
you know, agricultural
Yes.
farming animals, and it feels spacious, and there's still mature trees,
Okay.
and I don't know. I just love the feel of it.
That's
It really
incredible.
is.
And you got the Mingus Mountains right there.
You got all, I think,
Yeah.
4 mountains.
But I mean, boom, you're right on the highway in minutes,
yeah.
which is
Okay.
really special. I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
So,
And so
Valentino,
you said
good job.
you kind of been working for 4 years. You're kind of at the completion of this project.
Yes.
But are you open currently
We are.
for business and visitors? And
Yes.
Okay.
we
So bring it
are.
on.
Yeah, we're active on Airbnb, so you can
Okay.
find us on Airbnb, and we're also going to launch a website so that it could be easier for locals to just like. If they want a package, we're also working with like local businesses,
Okay.
incorporating packages. Like if somebody is coming from Phoenix and they're booking a month in advance, they can book a hair treatment at Desert Rose Retreat, or they can hire a bartender for their event, or like we can put in a package together with local businesses just to bring them.
Well, that's great because I just threw
awesome.
you guys under the bus the other night at a meeting.
How
We were
so?
trying to figure out where to do the Yavapai Casa for Kids Foundation gala for next year,
Oh,
and I
okay.
was like, "Hello, Mocha Ranch." So I don't know if they reached out to you. But
They did. So they
I
did
threw you
email
out
me.
there.
That was
Anyway.
that was so sweet. So they
like,
did
it'd be so fun.
mention. Yeah, they mentioned it to me.
Don't you
via
have
email.
animals too?
We do.
You've got horses.
So we have a whole farm operating. So we have chickens that actually lay organic eggs. So guests can actually go pick organic eggs in the morning and cook.
I
We have
want a
all the
chicken
kitchen
butt egg.
utensils, and we have a pony, a white pony. We have a zonkey, which we love.
Zonkey.
A
Nice.
zonkey,
The little
yeah.
zebra donkey thing.
Yes,
Mhm.
she is just magical. We have goats and we have racehorses that race at the Arizona Downs, but they're
Oh,
not
wow.
rideable, but people can pet them.
Okay.
So yeah,
That's
and
neat.
alpacas, which
Those are cool.
always
Those
a
are
winner.
really
Really
cool.
cool. What is that the other one?
The llamas.
Llama spit.
Llama spit.
Okay,
Alpacas,
alpacas the
man.
ones I like. Those are the ones I like.
Yeah, alpacas are sweet.
The cute
No
cousins.
disrespect to the
Come on.
llama, but you're gonna
Yeah,
spit
you're
at
gonna
me.
spit at me. You're dumb. we're having no part of you.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
That's incredible.
Yeah,
isn't it? Okay, but now we really need to talk about this woman's upbringing. I mean, it's really truly incredible. Yes. So, speak a little Chinese, a little Mandarin for us, sister. Come on, say
ni hao.
Well, a little more than that. Say, I'm so happy to be here.
我非常开心.
I love it.
You can't do that.
Why?
I have to edit that
I hear
now.
it.
You don't know.
I love it. It's not disrespectful.
Yes.
Why? I have a cross-cultural communication degree. Can you tell?
Mm-hmm. Is that what you're doing?
So beautiful. It's so, yes, I'm sing-songy. That's how it sounds.
Very
Say
good.
it again.
我非常开心.
See? Isn't it pretty?
That's very cool.
It is.
Very cool. So then, raised in China, born in China?
So I was actually born here in East LA.
East LA?
Yeah.
And then you know, just some things. I can go into detail, but you know, I don't know.
It's
up to you. Okay, so at 3 months, my mom leaves me, and so my dad kind of takes the role of a mom and a dad.
Yes.
And so 2 years later, he calls his sister from Colombia, and he's like, hey, like I'm raising her alone, but I'm really having a hard time. I'm having to leave her with like people, anybody, you know, because I need to work and provide.
Yeah.
And so she's like, okay, I'll go over there for a season. And so she comes here to help raise me, babysit me. And then she, like, close to her visa expiration, someone steals her documents, so she actually has to stay here. But by then she's so in love with me, you know. And
who wouldn't be?
And so she just loves me like a daughter, so she kind of takes on the role with my dad to help raise me.
But she's stuck here.
She's been stuck here.
And she had a business.
And so she actually had a degree for a CPA, so she was an accountant for a big bank in Colombia.
Yes.
And so her story is also an incredible story, but she stays here, and she's like, fine, I'll give up. Like, she wasn't Christian, but she was Catholic upbringing, so she was like, if this is what God wants, I mean, there's a reason why things happen. And so fast forward, I'm 4. My dad gets deported because the one time he was desperate for money, and he got offered to do something he probably shouldn't have, transporting something, and so he goes to prison. And so you know, there's like battle between my family. Ultimately, at 7, my aunt officially takes me in, like stable. So it was a few years of a lot of instability. So at 7, she takes me stable, and it was beautiful, like few years. And then at 11, so at 9 I become saved. So at 9 I accept Jesus. We go to a Christian church, and it was beautiful, you know, just it was a great experience to be born again. And then at around 10, I just start hanging out around the wrong crowds.
Wrong crowd.
Or being bullied, you know. It was a hard season transitioning from elementary to middle school.
It is hard.
You know, and most people knew like my story, so like they would just call me, you know, whatever. And so I start like kind of not rebelling, but not really, like just out of it, you know.
Okay.
And so my aunt calls my dad, and my dad by then was in Colombia for a few years, got a teacher's degree, started teaching in the best schools, English. Like his life just completely restored, and he's like, I'm ready for her. Like I finally can provide for my daughter. She can come here. I'm remarried.
Oh my gosh.
They had a new baby, and he's like, it's perfect timing. Like, so I go to Colombia. He puts me in a private school.
Major change.
Just my life drastically. Like from that point on, it was just like God coming through, you know.
And so at that point, had your aunt been teaching you Spanish? Did you know Spanish?
Yeah.
And were you fluent?
Yes.
So okay, so that transition's a teensy bit easier. At least you know the language.
No one even thought about that. No one even ever asked me that detail. But so I know it enough to go and communicate. Like I could have conversations. I did not know how to write or read, read it fluently. So it was, I mean, I could read it somewhat, but not like the grammar. Spanish grammar is intense. So I go over there. I did miss a grade, but you graduate so early that it didn't really, you know. But you know, it was a great years. I love Colombia. I lived there for 7 years. Wow. And then we moved. My dad gets a job offer to China, you know, and it was perfect timing because there was just like their marriage was restored because he had issues marital and all the things. You know, my relationship with my stepmom definitely not cool, but it was
hard.
fine. It's hard. And so we get that offer to go to China. Our family's kind of being redeemed, and you know, we're going through healing, so it was perfect. We go to China, and my dad gave me this comment, and this is what, you know, he's like, oh, your little sister will probably learn Chinese faster than you. I was like,
bring it on.
He was like, because she's younger, her mind is more spongy. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh no, you didn't have to say that.
No,
so I start consuming myself with the culture instead of trying to hang out around like Hispanic
expats.
Expats or foreign people.
Right.
I hang around Chinese, so all my friends are Chinese. Even though I didn't understand, I'm like, okay, body language, you know, reading what they're saying, you know. So in 4 months, I learned Chinese.
Good
and so
night.
my dad's like, okay, you are ready to go to a school. So I go to a college because by then I had already graduated. So he's like, go to a Chinese college, and you know, so I go to Chinese college. And so I go for a semester, and I loved it. I loved meeting so many people, and I loved culture.
Yes,
I love
culture.
All my friends were like foreign, so I start picking up a little bit of Russian, a little bit of, I don't know, like I was just like, I don't want to hang around my people because I love them, but that's not the point. Like I want to learn and grow, and I did. Like that semester of hanging around people, granted I went to a girls' school, so it was a really neat experience to go to a college that was co-ed and finally be able to interact with all sorts of people, you know, and it was just a lot of fun. It was an eye-opening experience, very mature. I saw my own boundaries too, coming from a conservative household, very overprotective dad. Like I saw that I was ready for the real world. Like I was responsible. I chose my friends wisely, like better than anything. And I don't know, it was a really good season.
And you ended up translating for your dad in business deals, which is kind of a segue into, I mean, what she does now. It was really in preparation for later on in your life.
Yes. I didn't understand, you know, my dad was teaching me the trading, and I was just really like, you know, when you're a daughter and you're being raised to be like the son, because my dad doesn't have any sons, you know, with him. So he was like training me to be a copy of him, and I would be like, I don't want to do this. Like I don't want to work. I'll translate for you, but this isn't my career choice, you know. And he's like, oh, whatever. Like you'll get to a point where you'll use this. This is happening for a reason. And so the end of the semester comes, and my visa expires, and so my dad's like, hey, you can go to Hong Kong. And like you can get it renewed by this guy, you know. He forgot that first off, I didn't have my mom's permission because my biological mom wasn't there. And the way he got me out of Colombia was a little bit like he found a loophole, but it wasn't the best loophole. And so so I go to Hong Kong, you know, and I'm a few months from turning, you know, 18. And and they're like, no, you can't. Like you can't go back to China because, you know, you don't have both of your parents.
Without country.
I'm like, it's just can't happen, you know? And so I'm stuck in Hong Kong, and I'm like, I call my dad in tears, and I'm like,
you were by yourself.
I was by myself.
In
so
Hong
I didn't
Kong.
have an adult.
18.
Yeah, 17.
17.
Yeah, 17 and a half. So,
oh my gosh.
I literally sat down and cried.
Just sit down and cry.
And I had this perfect life. I loved my college life. I loved my college friends. And
that was traumatic.
That was a really intense, like I'd probably say that was the most intense moment of my life. And they gave me a choice. You can go to Colombia because you have dual nationality. So you can go to Colombia or you can go to United States. And I hadn't seen my aunt, you know, in so many years. And I'm like, I feel like I have a better future in the United States. So I told my dad, hey, buy me a ticket to go to United States. And
none of her stuff. She had
none of my
things.
stuff. I literally just had my phone because I went by train, an hour ride, because I lived in Guangzhou, which is the border. And so
isn't that crazy? Be like, I'm gonna run down to the valley. I'm gonna go down to Anthem.
Right.
And I'll be back in an hour. And you don't get to come back.
Right. You have to leave the country. And were you also given a time frame of like, hey, you have to make this choice to either go to Colombia or United States like within X number of days? Or
no, I just couldn't, because Hong Kong is an independent country, like super independent. Like they don't, like basically almost, I feel like rules don't really apply. So they didn't give me a time frame, but obviously like hotels in Hong Kong are super expensive, and my dad only gave me a certain amount of money for the train. And I didn't have a bank account or anything where he could transfer me funds. Like,
you're 17.
I'm 17, so it was pretty terrible. So my dad's like, okay, well, you don't have enough money to stay another night, so we need to get you a plane ticket that day.
Oh my god.
And so I was like, okay. So I go to the airport because I don't have anywhere to be. So I hang out at the airport for 8 hours, just crying. Didn't
get to say goodbye to your friends?
No. They had all my stuff. I told my friends, hey, because I was changing dorms for the next semester. And so they held my stuff, and I was like, I'm sorry. Like, I called everybody. Everybody was crying. It was the most traumatic experience, I think, of my life. Yeah. Wow. It was pretty, yeah. So, but landing, you know, I felt like it was God.
Yeah.
I felt like I was meant to be back.
Yeah.
And I got to see my aunt, you know, who was like an angel in my life. And
it's awesome.
So that was pretty amazing.
And he had someone for you to meet.
Exactly. And I met him.
Name.
Yes, Valentino.
Valentino.
He's so charming. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Definitely charmed me. So.
And how old were you when you met Valentino?
So I was 18.
Okay.
So by then I was a few months,
sort of
really fast.
Chapter,
So my next chapter happened super fast. I didn't understand why I was here. I was trying to finish credits for United States, and I'm like, okay, like, I don't know what to do. I was lost in my life. And so I was, you know, I just started focusing in the church and in schooling and all of that. And then I start praying. I'm like, Lord, like, I really need guidance. Like, what am I supposed to do? I speak 3 languages fluently. Like, I'm ready to roll. Like, what is the next chapter? And so my aunt worked as an independent contractor for him. And so he hosted this Christmas party for everybody, for his workers. And so she's like, can you come with me? You know, I just don't want to go to this party alone. And so I go to this party with her, and I was like rolling my eyes the whole time. Like, I don't want to go to this party. And so I go there, and then I see Valentino, and I'm like, I mean, I wonder what he does, you know, just curious. And so I tell him, hey, like, I know you do real estate. From what I hear, you know, I've always wanted to do real estate. I speak 3 languages, and I pick things up really fast. I'm like, if you have any guidance, you know, or advice on what to do and what I should do,
go in being a learner.
Yes,
really
always go into being a learner.
Exactly. And so he was just impressed. He's like, who is this? I've never met someone this young,
tiny woman.
Yes, like that hungry and just that willing to just talk and like, you know, like I wasn't.
It's very attractive.
What do you have to lose?
So yes, exactly. So he calls me for an interview the next, like that.
You're darn right he did.
Yes, he did.
Interview.
The interview. You guys, like, it actually was an interview.
So I'm. Are you applying for the position of wife? Could be. I'm open.
What are
I could be a realtor. It could be your wife. I don't know. Mother of your children. Okay.
That is so funny. So the interview was a 4-hour-long interview, but it was a 4-hour long.
Did you say 4?
4 hour, you guys.
Okay.
4 hour
normal.
long.
Okay, so
that's typical.
Yes.
Some things are just falling into place. I'm like, my longest interview was like 30 minutes.
You don't speak
And
3 languages.
I've never had a job offer come out of those. Okay, so now I'm.
Needs to be longer.
Got it.
Needs to be longer,
better,
guys.
4 hours.
You're out of here.
Yes. So it was a 4-hour interview, and the whole time we were talking about like just like the gospel and missions work, and you know, it was a pretty intense 4 hours.
So
and he's like, I absolutely, like, this is a no-brainer. You can start January 1st, and he's like, but if you would like to be an intern, you can start earlier, you know? And I did not expect to be paid. I'm like, I'll do it. Like, if it's just to learn, I will go.
Yeah.
I didn't even care. So I started at $10 an hour, which was a robbery now that I think about it. But
Exact 3 languages, people.
yes, it was terrible. But so I go and start working for him. And I just have a servant heart, you know, hungry to learn, but also hungry to serve everybody in the office. And so he definitely saw that. And a few months later, the Canton Fair was happening in China. And so I'm like, hey, there's a Canton Fair. You can literally find any product in the world that you would like. Like, you want to bring construction material, I can bring it for you. I'm like, here's everything prepared for you. Here's tickets. Like, you can go. I can get you your visa with this guy. And he was like, well, I need a translator. And I was like, okay, you know, I haven't been in China for a little bit, so I'll translate. And so we go to China, and just something definitely clicked.
Yeah,
you know, it was we had like 5 days where we took care of business, where we, you know, like, and we just felt our spirits were like so kindred and free, you know, and it was pretty amazing. God definitely doing some work there. And we come home and we realize that we can't live apart. You know,
that's how it happened for me and my hubby.
Yeah,
we were like apart for Christmas break, came back, and we were like, let's not do that again.
Ever.
Yeah, we're like be together.
Yes,
30 years later.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
I love that so much.
Glory to God. How he does it, I don't know.
I know.
But it's not about me, it's about you. So let's carry on.
I love hearing your story though. Oh my gosh. So a year and a half later, we get married at the ranch. So we remodel at least the chapel, even though the rest still look the same.
There's a chapel.
Yeah, the chapel's the movie theater. So
cute.
So let me step back for just a second. What was this property originally intended
that's
to
a good
be?
question. Do you remember?
Yes.
What did they...
So it was actually it was used to restore children's in Mexico's hips. So this person would go, he was a doctor. His name was Robert Nichols, which Robert wrote and Nichols.
No.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Robert Nichols, yes.
Cheers
he owned
to him.
it. Yes, he was amazing. He was a like a chiropractic doctor. And he would adjust unfortunate kids in Mexico's hips. And he would like bring them for camp or things like that. Like
I love that.
he had the biggest heart. Yeah, for sure. So it's
And
it's
you guys
quite
are
beautiful.
You guys
So
have big hearts.
not only do you have a history and you're doing cool things with this, but like the property
know.
itself
I love it.
has
It's
a
blessed.
history
It's blessed.
of
It's a
serving others.
blessed, yeah, it's a beautiful property. And then all the neighbors used to fish, so everybody knows about it from years ago. Like the old timers, like they're in their 80s and they're like, yeah, we used to go fish and we used to have a
So you have a
neighbor.
pond? Do you have a pond on
We
the
do.
property? Okay.
We do have a pond. Yeah, it's not stocked
awesome.
right now, but
Okay.
it will
That's
be.
so
incredible.
great. It will be. It will be.
It will be.
Okay,
Yeah.
now fast forward a little bit. So married, and then you've got babies.
I do. So I have 2 amazing babies whom I love
They're
so
super
much.
cute.
They are the cutest.
Nice.
Like I just
And babies, we're talking how old?
Okay, so literally babies. I have
Okay.
a 2-year-old and I have a 1-year-old.
Yes.
They're
Yep.
super cute.
And I love them so much and they're just amazing. Definitely
Which
our spirits.
They've inspired other things. So tell
Yes.
us about the things. Tell us about your
the
things.
I'm so weird about talking about myself.
Why?
Just so you guys know.
We
Well,
actually
if you don't want to
invited
talk,
you.
I'll keep talking.
I love that.
I
Okay.
have no problem.
We want you to talk about yourself.
Yes,
so
we
that
do.
this is perfect.
So I actually designed a diaper bag. Yeah. So it's called Sammy and Nate
Show
because
the
my
peoples.
kids are Sammy and Nate. So
So
I have
cute.
Samara and Nathan.
Oh my god.
Right?
This
It's
is
like for real.
it is
so cool.
It is
She designed and had this made.
Yeah, so it's a
That's
gender
incredible.
neutral.
Yeah,
for men
because
Okay.
Jeremy would totally wear that.
yeah, it's a dad bag. You
Thanks,
can
Ray.
fit your
My
laptop,
hubby
but
would
it's
too. Leather.
Yeah, it's real leather. So I definitely wanted
It
something
still
quality.
smells good.
It smells so good.
Yeah.
and the more you use it, the more you beat it up,
Ooh,
the
I
better
know,
it
that
looks.
weathered,
Yes.
yummy. Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted something simple. I just couldn't find a diaper bag that I would fall in love with. That made me,
With good straps.
with good
Yes.
straps. So no one thinks about the leather portion being padded
Oh yeah, that's
because
nice.
leather like tends to
cuts in.
hurt.
Yes,
it
it
does,
does.
and it's pretty
and
bad.
it
So-
can stain your clothes.
and it can stain your clothes.
Yeah.
and just it's a lot. So I really put a lot of thought and nights into this. And
Lots of pockets.
I want people to enjoy parenthood. I'm passionate about motherhood. Like that's my
Yeah.
main. I always tell everybody like, doesn't matter what I'm doing in my life. Like my priority will always be my kids and being a mother and being a homemaker and being there. Like, and I'm like, if I can do anything to make that more enjoyable for anybody, I want to inspire that. So that's where my brands come in.
That's amazing.
My brands, because she's not done.
So
Yes.
I would say like we had someone make us a diaper bag, and it was like a quilted
I knew you were
diaper
going to say
bag,
that.
you know. And so that's not quilted.
No,
that's
it's
like
not.
super awesome.
This is very manly.
And our quilted diaper bag was also
It was
super awesome.
because it came with love.
Lots of love.
Yes.
But yes, when I see that, I do not automatically go, diaper bag.
Right.
Which
is nice.
That you can put stuff in it that, like you're saying, a laptop, and you can carry things along with you that aren't just specifically for changing a poopy diaper.
Because when we were fostering, so we had baby after baby after baby, and my hubby did a lot of the parenting. I mean, there were a lot of times he had to take doctor's appointments or whatever, and so we just got a regular diaper bag because he was like, I don't want to carry that flower thing. Can I? So that's why I love this.
That's really cool.
And that's what I want to, like, that's another thing. Like, I love that my husband and I parent together. Like, it's not just I take on the load and I'm so exhausted as a wife because I don't have a support. So he's always with me, or he tries to take on like as much as the parent load. So having a diaper bag that I just pass on, here, it's ready and it's packed and I just used it, so just you know, it's so great versus him being embarrassed that he's got such a girly thing on his
back. I'm so proud because you created that.
Yes,
his wife did that.
Yeah, he's an amazing support. I would not be able to do anything without him.
Fun.
For sure.
There's more projects. Want to hear more?
Oh, let's go. I mean,
okay, so I'm almost done. But other than the Airbnb,
where would someone go if they want to purchase?
So it is currently in the process of arriving, but eventually it'll be at Magpie.
I was just there this weekend.
Yes.
Or online. Where would they go online?
SammyandNate.com.
SammyandNate.com.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. Or DayanaMoca.com, and you can just find the links.
All the things.
Yeah. Okay. It's just to make it easier, just DayanaMoca.com.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Carry on. There's more.
Okay. So my last project, I partnered up with an amazing force. You know, she actually designs these earrings too.
Okay.
So Charlie James, and we partnered up because she's got experience in the apparel industry. She used to work with the factory and, you know, created the sportswear line.
And her name is?
Her name is Priscilla Magana.
Yes.
Yes, Priscilla Magana. And so she's got the prettiest name. And so we like, the moment we found each other, it was just like sparks and dream and ideas and vision.
So fun.
And like, what are we going to do next?
Us, Jeremy.
Oh, yes. Sparks, dreams, visions.
And so I told her about this other project about apparel that I was taking on. And it was just too much. Like, although it seems like I can handle a lot, like I do have a limit, especially when my family is being affected and I'm too exhausted or I'm not able to be as intentional as I want to. So I tell her, hey, I have this project. I would love your help and input. She's like, okay, like, how are we going to do this? You know, like, and so I'm like, okay, let's do 50-50. We're just going to be 50-50 partners. I want your brain. I want your, you know, your energy, and I want to create something even better. And that's what we've been doing. So we have an apparel business, and you can find our products at Magpie as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And we're actually designing from scratch another product. So we're doing a ton of stuff. So definitely want to keep updated.
Yes.
And that brand is called Simple Tribe Threads.
Simple Tribe Threads.
Baby basics, intentional, like organic goods, good for baby skin. I'm passionate about that. Like, all my baby's clothes are like, I want them to be comfortable. I want them to be able to play comfortably,
move and play, and their skin to breathe.
Yes.
Especially in Prescott.
Oh yeah,
it's a good place for it.
Yes, exactly.
Lots of fresh air.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I know. I'm like slathering my kids and Goodwill. I have 15 other people.
I was happy I got out of bed this morning. And now I'm like, oh yeah, okay. All right, I better step up my game. So I will not be sharing this one with Marissa.
Miss Mocha, all right? Step up your game, Jer.
Wow, that is incredible.
I know.
Man.
Are you exhausted yet?
Clothing lines and all this other and just your story is
and
so
her story.
Amazing.
And then can I just say, because as a woman gently over 40, just a little over 40,
a touch,
it really impresses me that you are the age that you are. You don't have to say your age, but
I could
be my child.
I'm okay with saying my age. That's one thing that I've overcome. Like, I used to be embarrassed because I didn't want people judging me for my age.
I can see
but
that.
Now I'm actually proud. I'm 24 years old.
That's awesome.
4.
It's incredible.
I just love that.
So I think one of the things that is awesome about this, and something that we don't often talk about, especially in Christian circles, is this thing of adversity, right? And overcoming. And you've experienced so much life already to this point, and you've had all these different aspects that you've had to overcome.
Yes.
So now you're in a spot where, honestly, honestly, you can tackle a lot of things and still be like, hey, you know what? I know at the end of the day, I've got my family, I've got my faith, and I'm just going to go. I'm just going to go and do it. And so it's so often the case that we can shrink back from certain things because we feel adversity, because we actually haven't experienced true opposition or adversity and come through those to be able to say, wow, man, I can bear a lot more than I ever thought I could.
Right.
And so that you are 24, you have the experience of maybe an 80-year-old.
Yes, that's what impresses me. I think
and to be able to pack all that into your products and to the way that you do life and the way that you're tackling things and then giving back is huge. So don't be ashamed of 24 and the way
She's
that
a Timothy. We're not going to despise your youth.
No, not at all.
But so embrace it because you got the energy to do it.
I know. That's most of it. Marissa and I were just talking about this morning. We're like, so 40 is like a real thing.
It's a thing.
Like you roll out and you're like, I can't move. I'm stiff. How is this possible? 45 minutes later, like
creaking.
Okay, all right. Today we can do today. So it's really a shame, but so enjoy it. She really does. She just, I feel like you just live life because God's given it to you and the talents. Yeah.
And she doesn't keep them to herself. That's what's impressed me.
That's cool.
Dayana, you're really inclusive, and I think you're the essence of Prescott. I really do, because I feel like Prescott is so collaborative, and it's the joy of that small town feel where I go to different networking things and people know you and and willing to embrace other people, because you're also with the Straighten Her Crown project.
Yes.
And if you don't know about that, just look it up. Instagram, Straighten Her Crown project. And that really is, it's not a I am woman, hear me roar type of a thing, but it is empowering women and entrepreneurs, but really collective and open. And I love that. That's Prescott.
That is Prescott.
You belong here.
I love it. This has been, and we always, I love the country story, the travel story with my husband, because it's like, we've been to all these countries and we chose to make this home.
Yeah.
This is home. And I love it. It says something.
And so, out of curiosity, after traveling to so many places and coming and settling in Prescott, is there a little bit of that wrestling? Is there a restlessness to like, hey man, we gotta like, where's that next thing? Or is this kind of how it now flows out into these areas of producing and creating bags and apparel and other things like that? Is that sort of where you have that outlet, or is there that thing of like, ooh, what else is in the world that we're gonna experience?
Right. Yeah.
So we definitely are travelers by spirit.
Yeah.
Okay. So we love to travel, and we always have a traveling bag.
A little gypsy in you.
Yes, we're very much like, and we want our kids to experience that too.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, with so many uncertainties, it's like we don't have we don't want to risk anything.
Right.
So you could say that my creating and just going in town and talking to people is kind of like calming that travel bug a bit, because I love people. That's why we travel.
Yeah.
More than the places and geography, we travel because we love people.
Yes.
We love meeting people of everywhere, and we just genuinely love people. Like,
That's cool.
Yes.
I think it's one of the frustrating things for us when we travel is that we usually have such a narrow window, right? And so spending a week in a place, it's really hard to get a flavor for people, for the rhythm of life that they're in, and certain things like that. And so you do, like, I crave to be able to go somewhere for an extended period of time and just dig in and kind of see what makes people tick. And those are the things that you just miss if you're hitting, the sightseer type touristy things. Right. And even if you try to go like off path, you
with
still
all the other
miss
off-pathers.
those right, exactly. Yeah. Everyone that's on the new path that was right, not so much. So that's really neat that you guys are here and that you do what you do. So that's pretty inspiring.
Yeah,
thank you. So
very blessed to get to know you.
It takes a village.
Yeah.
I was going to ask too, because you said one of the things that you and your husband kind of clicked on is not only the thing of your personal faith, but that thing of like, and getting this out to other people and the gospel being spread and things like that. So is there sort of a missional heart behind kind of like where you guys are headed, or do you kind of see missions as a part of your story in the future? Is there something that both of you kind of talk about in that realm? I mean, travel the gospel. I don't know. It kind of sounds like there's something there.
Yeah, there is. So so I love your questions. Like, I've never been asked those specific questions. So we talk about it all the time. We absolutely do. We're letting this period of time with COVID and all of that kind of fade away,
yes.
you know, but in the meantime, we're prepping ourselves for that. So next year we're joining a Bible school. So I'm really cutting off a lot of the things that I've been doing just so I can focus on that. And we're homeschooling our kids, so they're going to go with us wherever we are. So we are preparing, like next year we're planning a couple trips. Okay. We want to go to Africa and, you know, work with our ministry partner. So we have a couple things. Even we want to use the ranch to prepare local youth, like eventually, where we can educate them and put them through I-squared training, and they could use the ranch as a facility to send out missionaries. So that's a bigger scale, but for next year we do want to educate ourselves and start traveling again, but for more missional purpose versus for pleasure.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah,
I hear it. I hear it.
Yes.
We all have that in our blood.
We do.
Yes.
So
it's biblical. I mean, that's what God wants us to do.
Yeah.
That's His ultimate calling.
Yes.
To the nations.
To the nations, yeah.
All right, let's go. I'm ready.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Ray, was there anything additional? Because like there's so much,
This
and
was
you know
intense.
a lot already.
Because we've been really, I mean, we're really good friends. We go way back, like a couple months.
Yeah. A couple of months, but we feel like we've known each other a whole life.
It's just one of those.
Yeah, we're very connected.
Deep dive right away.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
Yes.
Totally.
That's good.
No, I'm good. I just really, it's a privilege to have you on the show. Thank you. And I love your heart. And just as a mama and an entrepreneur and a missionary, just love that. So thank you.
Thank you guys for having
It's
me.
been fun.
Absolutely.
This was so fun.
Really glad to have you, and thank you all for watching. I mean, like, I don't even know how many hashtags we could put on this thing because we've covered so much territory.
Oh my word.
But it's incredible. So I have a feeling whoever you are and wherever you are, you will be able to get something out of this podcast because
Absolutely.
of just the richness and things that she's had in her life.
Yes.
And so thank you so much. Please like, subscribe, share this.
Share.
There are plenty of things in this podcast for sure that I have a feeling someone will come to mind that you're like, man, that sounds like they would enjoy this. So share it with those people and be inspired as you listen. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Getting Together.
See you
We'll
next
see you
time.
next time.